those things ever. But what I am saying is that when you take care of yourself, it means you're taking time to quiet everything down outside of you. How often do you do that? Do you take a minute to just stop everything outside of you and go into a space where you can be looking at your own thoughts?
Daily. Starting to get more and more. Since I met you, more and more.
Good. But we need to do that. Like, what happens is that we make a habit and we break an old habit. So right now we're in the habit of not paying attention to any of our thoughts, right? Where they just go woo woo woo, and then we're like, "What the heck just happened? Why am I upset? Why am I doing?" Yes. Did somebody lock?
Yeah, I'm so used to just going in and twisting it. I probably I'll get it.
But if we start paying attention just a little bit, you cannot do it all at once. It's impossible. Okay. You're not going to be able to monitor every single thought you have right now, this second, because you've been in the practice of not doing that so long. However old you are, that's how long you've been practicing not paying attention to your thoughts. Okay. So when you do that, you have to break that old habit and start a new habit, right? And the new habit is paying attention to your thoughts, right? That's what the new habit is.
Well, right.
Okay, but right now we're trying to have meditation class. If you didn't mean to disrupt anything, you probably would have got here on time or early. See, I can speak to him like that because he's my brother. Yeah. He knows, and here's the thing. People want to make excuses and say, truth is, he lives by himself. He doesn't have anybody that makes him late but himself. And so that's right. That's correct. And so this is every week. See, I'm calling you out because it's every week and it's disruptive to other people and it's unkind. It's unkind to yourself. Why is it unkind to yourself?
Because I put myself in an uncomfortable situation.
Yes, exactly. See, Roger, I can speak to Roger in truth because if I don't speak to him in truth,
I sugarcoat things.
He does. See, he knows. And so now through his journey, I've had to help him break his old habit.
To speak truth to myself.
That's right. It wasn't easy, was it? You actually came right on time. And the reason why is yes, it was a lesson. I was just speaking of how we have to take care of our own self and what we have to do. And that it's hard to monitor our thoughts at first all the time. And it's hard to speak truth to ourselves at first all the time.
That's a very good point because since our last conversation, I've done a lot of reading in the Dhamma, the Big Dhamma book, but I've also had to think about what we talked about last time because that's been a struggle with myself because I'm working very diligently on not making it
about
me, and
everything,
think about my thoughts.
Everything outside of you. Everything outside of you. I don't care what it is outside of you. It's not yours to carry. We try to carry everybody else's junk along with our own. And it doesn't work. You cannot. Like you can't, even if you carry their stuff, it doesn't relieve them from their suffering. It just adds more suffering to yours. And it's crazy because almost everybody in the world does it, and one of the main things that I teach is, look, that is outside of you. You cannot do that. You just can't. You can't fix it for someone else. It's impossible. You may want to, but all the wanting in the world doesn't fix someone else's problems. Only they can fix their problems, just like only you can fix yours. We look at things as if, okay, we're going to get deep tonight. So we look at things as if we don't have any control. And that's an untruth that we speak inside ourselves. The fact is, we have all the control over ourselves. And that's the only thing we have all the control over. But yet we don't want to use that control on ourselves. Doesn't make sense, does it? So, and it starts with your thoughts. Every thought you have is a creator of something. It's called dependent origination, which means everything depends on something to originate. Okay? Everything in this world. So, and it all comes from a thought that we have. Everything has been created out of someone's thought. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So why do we think that when our mind is going and we're having thoughts and we feed those thoughts, that it's not going to create something? It is. It's going to create something. It's either going to be good or not so good. Up to you. So that's when you look at your thoughts and you say, what exactly is this going to do? Like, okay, I'm having this thought. What good is it? What is it good for? What is it doing? And see, that's what meditation is. We think meditation is quieting the mind. That's impossible. You cannot make your mind silent. It doesn't work like that. You have over 60,000 thoughts a day. You're not going to sit in silence and not have a thought. You're going to have a thought. Don't criticize yourself for that. Okay? Know that you're having a thought and then understand what that thought is. That's what mindfulness is. It's looking at the thought and focused on that thought and going, okay, do I need this thought? Is it going to help me in any way, or do I need to let it go? That's what you do with your thoughts. That's what you should be doing. It's not easy to do that because we're not used to paying attention to what our mind is saying. We're just used to letting it chitter chatter away, and then we speak things we don't even half the time. We don't know what we're saying. We don't think about what we're going to say before we say it and how it's going to affect someone or ourselves. We just boop, 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 and then, oh man, how did that happen? In reality, we know how it happens. We can track it back. We can look at our thoughts, go backwards and go, that's where it started right there. 100% of the time. Although we don't do that and we don't know that because we've never practiced that.
When I talk to people, I feel like if they have more time to think, they're more guarded. So I don't like to think too much. I like to free flow.
Why are you worried about what other people are doing?
To get to the base cause of it.
But that's for you to do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying you don't let yourself think?
No, I want to have true understanding, but you can't understand somebody else. How do I explain it?
You're looking outside yourself. You're trying to speak to other people and not allow them to think. Why?
So I notice a lot of people fib when they get time to think.
What do you care?
Because I don't want lies.
But what do you care? It's not about you. See, you're thinking, look, this is a good example of us not looking inside ourselves. We're worried about what other people are doing. Who cares what they're doing?
Because remember, Kim told me before, she would ask me when you were in Thailand with me,
Mhm.
why I was lying to myself.
Mhm.
So if people are gonna lie to themselves, they're gonna lie to you too.
You're
So
right.
they have to tell truth to themselves first.
First of all, stop trying to fix other people. You cannot. I mean, plain and simple. We spend our life trying to fix someone else. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm going to tell you 100%, I'm not trying to fix you. I'm giving you tools that I used on myself. If you want to use them, have at it. If you don't want to use them, I'm okay with that too. Got nothing to do with me. I'm not going to go home and cry if you don't use what I've given you. Because I'm not attached to an outcome. If I were attached to an outcome with everybody, I would suffer every day of my life. Why? Because nobody in this class does what they're supposed to do.
Not every day.
That's the truth of it. That is the truth of it. Who in here can say that they get up every single morning and meditate?
Don't look at me, Dave.
See, this is what I'm saying. So I'm not attached to the outcome of what anybody does. I'm going to do me. I get up every morning, I do me. And throughout the day, I might do another meditation depending on what's going on. And then at night before I go to bed, I'm doing another one. Why? Because I'm taking care of myself. That's where I find peace. See, nobody's in there with me. I'm there by myself. Nobody's got anything to say. And what they want to say, it makes no difference to me. If they lie to me, they don't. People lie to me every single day. I say, have you been doing your practice? Oh, yeah, I've been doing. Oh, no, that's a lie right there. Well, I did some, and I'll call them out on it. I don't think so. Because you know how I know? They're in suffering. If they're doing what they need to do, the suffering ends. 100% of the time. It's the only thing I know of that is 100%. And when I learned it and I started doing it, I spoke that to the people who taught me up on a mountain. Master Tong Bai. He was like, she's got it. She knows what she's talking about. Because I said, this will work 100% of the time. The catch is you got to do it. That's the only catch to it. So the enlightenment or the finding peace is all in your hands. And you cannot look outside of yourself to find it. You can't make other people see the truth because you're not living it inside your own self. Why do I say that? And I'm not picking on you, Daniel. I love you, brother. I'm not picking on you. But I say that so that you can be aware, so that you can look inside yourself. Because the truth is, if you're looking outside and you're trying to make someone else see it, that's your focus. And the focus should be on you trying to do it for yourself. See, we're all busy. Like, this is the world. The world is like this. And you're taught to do that. You're taught to be busy working on trying to fix everybody else. So you're not working on trying to fix you. Because everybody knows that if you're working on trying to fix somebody else and you're not fixing you, nobody gets fixed.
Do you think that we get broken, but it's human instinct to take care of others or to look out for others, to be kind to others? And
you're confusing the thing, okay? Because I'm not saying don't be kind to other people.
Yeah.
I'm all about kindness, right? I'm all about love and kindness. I'm saying there's a difference between being kind to someone and not taking care of yourself. And using that someone to be kind to and take care of their problems instead of looking in and taking care of your own. because it's easier to look outside of yourself and to look at someone else and to say, oh, they're not being true, when you're doing it yourself. But you don't have to look at yourself as long as you point a finger at somebody else.
Just for an instance, Daniel, remember when we went to Thailand at the beginning and Kim gave me that little book, the little Dhamma book,
Yes.
and we were in the hotel room
Mhm.
and I was speaking to you, but I was trying to help you, but I was not doing it for myself.
They were aggravated with each other.
Remember what you said to me? I do. You said, well, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for me? Remember?
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
So
See,
I left out of the room.
Everybody
Yeah.
is trying to do someone else. They're trying to make someone else see it.
I think one too. I'll jump on this train.
Yeah.
Remember when you say like, I can't be somebody's happiness?
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing.
You
You know,
cannot.
you put your energy into something like that. Well, if you're not taking care of you, you know,
Yeah.
everybody's a sponge. They'll just take.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the only one that can fill it back up.
See, that's why I walked out of the room, because you spoke truth to me, but I didn't like hearing it. So then I left and went out and took a walk. And when I came back, Kim goes, you and Daniel are mad at each other. And I lied out of my mouth. I said, no, we're not.
I wasn't mad.
But I knew the truth.
You have a
See?
hard time deciphering emotions sometimes. too.
Maybe, I guess.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah. It's okay
But
because you're going to learn. Like this is all of us are on this learning train. Even me. Like I learn something new every day. I evaluate myself every single day. And then I can learn something new. If I think I'm done, I might as well be dead.
She's got to deal with us, so she's got to learn something new all the time.
You know, all the-
She's gonna live forever.
All the time I'm learning something. It's a beautiful thing. But the problem is we judge ourselves. Oh, I didn't do that. I suck. No, you don't. You're just learning. But the key is to learn and not continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Because then what are you learning? You're using it as an excuse to continue doing it. You know, speak truth inside yourself. If you tell yourself nothing but truth, nothing but, even when it's, I don't want to hear it. There were many times when I was talking to Roger, he didn't want to hear it.
Not at all. I mean, because she would speak truth, and then I would not talk to her for 2 days. I would walk back to the temple, and she wouldn't see me for 2 days because I knew if I went back, she was going to say something I did not want to hear, and it was about being kind to myself, and that is my biggest understanding is every time I speak truth to myself, I'm being kind to myself.
Yes.
And that has been a battle for me.
And here's the thing, okay? The truth doesn't change just because we don't say it, okay? We want to stick our head in the sand and go, no, that's not true. But the truth is factual. It is what it is. Even if we don't like it, which most of the time we don't like it when we're talking truth inside ourselves. We don't like to hear the truth. But it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means we don't really like the truth. But the truth 100% will set you free.
You know, when I went to Thailand and I told Kim, I'm not going to stop smoking dope. I'm not going to quit drinking. I'm not.
You sure did.
And
And what did I say?
Because
What did I
she
say?
said, you don't know what you're going to do. I said, oh, yes, I do.
And I said,
But
okay.
The thing of it is, I can go around people, whether they're drinking or not, and I tell myself, it's not about me. And I don't, you know, I got rid of the urges. I threw away the alcohol in the house. I threw away everything. I found a Coke spoon that was just coated with Coke. And I looked at it, and for a second, I was like, I was thinking in my head for a split second, I could lick that off, and then it'd be clean, and then I could throw it away. but I was like, don't do this, don't you dare. And I was like, I threw it away. So I threw away the temptations because I thought
And
if I
see,
kept them, I would be
this is good because he's speaking truth.
Mhm.
Okay. He's speaking truth about things that most people don't speak truth about.
Mhm.
Most people aren't going to tell you they found a Coke spoon in their house coated with cocaine. Okay. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say they were tempted with it. See, this is all Roger speaking truth inside himself, which is a beautiful thing. It's good because he didn't used to do that. So that's progress, right? But each one of us have truth inside. Now, I'm going to tell you that you don't have to speak it like he's doing outside with everybody. It's nobody else's business. But you need to speak truth to yourself. Because when you don't speak truth to yourself, that means you're living in a lie. And when you live in the lie, it creates suffering inside your own self. And you never find the peace that is waiting inside of you. It's not outside of you. Like this peace that I'm talking about that you find at the end of this lovely little journey, and you're not even finished the journey, but you find it right away. When you do this, you find this peace that I'm talking about. Yes, Donna?
I want to tell Roger this. Roger, like when I first met you at the first class, and then you went to Thailand, it wasn't even in person, it was online.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
saw
right.
the difference. We all saw, I think I can speak for everybody. We like, Roger went and he found it, he got it.
Yeah.
You can tell you were being truthful, honest, and that it worked on you, and it showed.
Yeah.
It
Well,
showed in your
thank you.
face.
I'm glad, 'cause
So, yes.
it feels good, the honesty, because I had to look, and every time Kim would say something, I'd stay away from her for 2 days. I'd spend those 2 days, no matter if and I would tell myself at first, no, she's not right. But before it was over with, I had to look inside myself and speak truth and know that the thing she was saying was true. And if I was ever going to find peace, because I never had it ever, if I was ever going to find peace, I had to let go of my ego and accept the things she was telling me. And part of that was looking at my addictions and letting go of those addictions, and I didn't want to. I mean, I spoke it right there on the beach to her. I don't care what you say. I'm not going to become a monk. I'm not going to cut my hair. I'm not going to be a Buddhist. I'm not going to. But then when you start studying and practicing, you realize that our perception, and I'm reading about that in the big book, is perceptions.
Yeah.
Is when we see things, we perceive it in a certain way. And I was perceiving everything just like most Americans do about Thailand and Buddhism. Buddha means enlightenment. So, I mean, I was thinking it was a religion, but I got enlightened and I accepted that. And each time I spoke truth to myself, it got a little bit easier, and a little bit easier. And then I realized, oh, I'm being kind to myself. And I liked it because I wasn't punishing myself for everything that I never did before.
There was a time that we were talking and he spoke. He said, I'll never get it. I suck. I'm just, I'm stupid. I'll never get it. And I said, why would you say that?
Yes, I know.
I'm like, don't say that about yourself, because we're all on this journey and you'll get it. You just have to practice it over and over again. It's like every habit that we ever broke or created, we had to do it more than once. We had to practice it and practice it and practice it. And then all of a sudden we get it, like driving, right? We had to practice at driving. Now we get in the car, half the time we don't even know we started it. Sometimes we go, oh, I already started it. Yeah, because we don't even think about it now. That's how this becomes inside of you. And I'm honestly telling you this. You don't have to, it won't be a constant, let me think about my thought, let me think. No, but the more you practice at thinking about your thoughts, the more you come familiar with it, then it will be an automatic thing. And then you'll be able to see things like you'll be able to go, okay, wow, you'll hear somebody say something and you'll think in your mind, wow, that's creating something they're not going to like. I mean, you can actually see it as it's taking place because you're aware of your thoughts that are happening all the time. And so when you're aware of your thoughts, you become aware of what other people may be doing to their own self. And you just take a step back. You don't need to get involved in it because it's not yours.
I've noticed that when I go to restaurants, and I'm not trying to listen to other people's conversations, but it'll either be an anger toward a child, or they'll be saying something, and I'm like, ooh, I can almost feel the turmoil that
Yeah,
they're
because
going to put themselves into.
Because you were there.
Yes, I was.
See, what happens is when we get through the crazy that we have inside of us, we can see it in other people, right? Because it's very familiar. We know what that anger, what that resentment, what that frustration, we know what that is because it was our friend for a long time.
And I'm not looking for it when I go out. It's just when it clicks in your head.
Yeah.
And I don't carry it.
Because that is what you were used to. Now that you're not used to that anymore, you hear it like that. But the point is not what you can hear about other people. The point is doing it inside yourself. When you start doing it for yourself, like the most important thing to begin with is telling yourself truth. Like that is number one. And that will automatically bring you into loving kindness. It will happen automatically. Just like Roger said, one day he was speaking truth and then he realized, oh, I'm being kind to myself. That's what it is. But you don't have to worry, think, okay, God, I got to do the truth and I got to do the loving kindness. I got to do all these things. No, don't worry about that. Let's make it easy for yourself. All you have to do is start by being honest with yourself. Not, if you're honest with yourself, you will automatically be honest with other people. That's just going to be a given. But if you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with other people. Like Roger would tell me story after story. I'll be like, are you speaking truth to me? Like, I don't think you are. Well, yes, I am. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you're not.
And then I would get upset. And later on, when I spoke to her, I said, I feel like you're calling me a liar. She said I was. And I was like,
It was here.
Yeah, that was here. Well, I mean, what else was I doing?
but that's why I got mad and talked to her for 2 days, because I felt it when I got mad about my hair.
Yes.
But until I got back to the United States, when she said it here,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
When I spoke it, she said it bounced, I was like, oh crap.
Well, I
But that
wasn't.
was the truth.
I wasn't being mean. I was
No,
just
you just
speaking truth.
It gives
And
me to speak truth to myself.
And I was just like, you're not going to, and I spoke this, you're not going to lie to me. You can go ahead and try to lie to yourself. I'm okay with that if that's what you want to do. Didn't I?
Yeah.
But you're not going to lie to me because I know the truth. So if you're going to speak to me, you're going to either speak truth or you're not going to speak to me because I don't want to hear a lie. And you're telling yourself a lie. You're not telling me a lie. You're telling it to yourself because I already know. And he was like, And he left for 2 days, which was fine.
That's gotta be tough to hear.
But it's a learning experience. I'm not the same man as I was before. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it because I was suffering.
Yeah, he really was. And Roger being my brother, I could do things with him that I don't do with other
Yeah.
people because, other people probably would never come back, if I spoke to them like that. But I spoke to him because I had a short amount of time. And that was the only time I had to get through to him by himself. See?
Do you think anything else would have worked?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Because, I mean, I've tried for years to figure out, okay, what's wrong with me, this, that, and the other, but I've been angry my whole life.
And
Yeah,
see, there was nothing wrong with you.
Right, but I thought there was.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's a hard.
So I carried it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, no, I don't think anything, I mean, I've been to counseling before
Yeah.
when I went through my marriages and all that. My brother told me, he said, you can't work for me anymore, my younger brother, unless you go to counseling. So I went to counseling and that helped for a minute,
Yeah.
but then I quit and then I didn't work with my brother anymore and I was still angry. And
I
you
think
know,
the key
doing
to
that-
it is that the power is all in yourself.
But you gotta
And-
be honest with yourself, and I wasn't, it took a lot for me to really speak truth, because there's part of me that was like, no, that's not right.
That's a fight everyone has. Everybody has it inside their own self with themselves. You're fighting your ego and your true self. And it's a battle.
I had
you
to
know.
let go of my ego,
Yeah.
that was the biggest,
It's a huge battle that everyone faces inside their own self.
letting go of the ego probably helped me more than, because then I stopped looking at, because I would get upset with Kim. And she said to me, I'm not just your sister, I'm also your teacher, and you're not being respectful. And I hadn't thought about that,
Right.
so I had to leave and go back and think about that. And I was like, damn,
Right.
but because I love my sister, but I didn't think I was.
What he
disrespecting
said, the reason I said that is because what he said is, I'm not being disrespectful to my teacher. You're my sister.
Right.
And I said, oh, it's okay for you to be disrespectful and treat your sister not good?
That's tough. Like I
But
went
I
away
had
from
to
my
accept
cousin.
it. I had to listen to what she said though.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, because I wouldn't do anything to hurt my
Yeah.
sister. But when she said it, I had to look at what she said and go,
Break it down.
oh crap, I am being disrespectful to my sister
Yeah.
and my teacher.
Yeah. That's tough. Like I was saying, I worked with my cousin, and that was we have different conversations. If it's from 6 to 4, you're my boss or my teacher, whatever. After that, then you're Johnny G. We can talk, other ways, and that's a fine line to ride.
Yeah.
But,
Very difficult.
but that's the thing, if you don't have that line there, you keep the respect all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to draw
That's
that
the,
line.
and
I was
that was
thinking
the
you did.
point I was making to him. If we're always respectful, first of all, to ourselves,
Right.
we're pretty much respectful to everyone when we're respectful to ourselves. But we aren't very respectful to ourselves, and we are so, we're broken right now because we speak negative things to ourselves all our life.
One of the first things that I got asked when I came back from Thailand, Daniel might have been at the shop when I got asked this by Jim. And he asked me, does this mean that since you're a different person, you're not going to yell at people in public and in
McDonald's.
McDonald's
Yeah.
anymore? And I was like, I had to stop and think about it because I guess, if he noticed that I yelled at people in public, I wasn't being kind to anyone.
Right. That's right.
All of us noticed that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot
like-
you knew too.
Roger would
But
get
see,
mad.
this is the thing. He wasn't angry with anyone except for himself.
Yeah.
And until he recognized that inside himself, he wanted to blame it on everything outside of him. But the minute he saw it inside and forgave himself, see, it takes forgiveness. You have to forgive yourself. And the minute you do that, then that lifts that anger, that lifts that resentment, that lifts that judgment that you've been having on yourself all the time.
I was angry at the whole world.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one individual. I didn't, and Daniel may have heard me say it, I didn't like people.
Mm-mm.
And
But
there's no
that's
reason
because
for that.
he didn't like himself. I mean, I'm going to bring it right back to our own self every time, because that is where it is. It's not outside of you. In the minute, if you can get this, you will be golden. But if you can't get it, you're going to have to study it till you do. Because it's not about anything outside of you. It's about inside. It's about finding the love inside your own heart for yourself.
It feels real good too.
It does. It's a beautiful thing. And when you find it, you have peace. It's instantaneous. Like it doesn't, and then it doesn't go away. Now you may have moments when you get into a little junk, but then you remember how to get yourself out. You know, it's you work at it, and it's really easy, but we make it hard. You know, it's one of the easiest things because you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to, you just do you. But we make it hard because we want to do everybody else. we want to look at everybody else. We want to talk about everybody else. We want to make it about everybody else. And if the minute you can stop that and just really speak inside your own self, and find that love for yourself. And it's really about speaking truth. And honestly, we don't. We don't speak truth inside our own self. We have stories running about garbage, okay? We have stories running all the time in our mind about garbage, about ourselves. It's garbage we're telling ourselves about ourselves. I know it well because I did it for many years. Many years I did it. I was, I told you last week, I tried to kill myself at times. That would never happen today because I know what peace is and I love myself. And it's not a conceited love. It's a love because I know my heart. I know who I am. I am my heart. I'm not this body. I'm not, what other people see outside with their eyes. And when you recognize that and you start to understand that we are all this, we're all this. We're all the same. We're all the same. But we see with our eyes. And what you see with your eyes is not what is. And it's hard to understand that. But that's the truth. Because what we see with our eyes, we don't see the vibrations that are happening that's holding us all together. We only see bodies or chairs or computers. But those aren't really what it is. They're little vibrations happening all together, keeping things together. But we don't see that. And that's a fact. Like that's a scientific fact. So if we know that, then we can start going, okay, stop seeing with my eyes, see with my heart. Stop seeing with my eyes, see with my heart. And when you do that, you start understanding your own heart. You start seeing your own heart. But you have to, I used to tell everybody to stand in front of the mirror and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And that's called Ho'oponopono, and it's from Hawaii. And in Hawaii, they used to teach their children this right away. And then everybody could love themselves, I'm sorry for the things I've spoken that weren't right about you. I'm saying it to yourself, please forgive me for all that garbage, that I've done to you. Thank you for the forgiveness and I love you. And something happens if you continue to do that day after day. Day after day, you say it to yourself. Whenever you have one of those moments that you think, I suck, right? Then you say you're sorry to yourself. You say, I know that's not true, right? I thought I sucked in a big way. I really thought that I was garbage. I thought that inside of myself. I would never think that today because I know who I am really inside. I know who everybody is inside. We're all the same. But if we don't see that, then we're caught in this world of judgment. And we judge ourselves and we judge others. And then we're harming all instead of being kind and loving to all. No need to judge because, first of all, whatever's happening outside of you is not your business. It's not your business. Let it go. Let it be. Don't try to save other people. Save yourself right now. Because in saving yourself, you will save other people. That's how it works. People see the changes in you. They see the happiness in you. They see the love in you, and they want some of it. So they're going to ask you, right? Dude, man, you look so different. What are you doing?
There's one thing, I never thought that I'd see other people besides Daniel in this class.
Daniel's bringing everybody. I don't know what you're doing.
But I met, I knew John and I had met you before, but I don't have a circle of friends that I can say, hey, Bubba.
Yeah, you did bring Bubba.
But he's like one of the only few other friends besides Daniel that I have that I could open my mouth and speak. Hey, because people see it in me.
Yes.
But most of the people that I know that, I've got a brother that texts me every day now. You're magnificent. You're wonderful. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
how's your ego when he says that?
Well, I don't want to tell him not to say it because I don't want,
it's okay, Roger. I'm just teasing you a little bit.
But I noticed after I came back and I saw him the weekend when I went down to Virginia Beach, he was watching me sit down I can't remember his name right now. But another bro, and I gave him one of the little dog, because he was the one that was asking me, why he felt a certain way. And I said, because that's the universe talking to you.
Yeah.
It's not religion, it's just the universe talking to you. So I gave him that. And ever since then, this other brother has been texting me almost daily. And he's a good person, but he knows I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of those things anymore. But when he saw that I was firm in my commitment, he texts me every day. And that's a start. It's a beginning. That's a start.
That's a beginning. So, and it's also like, I'm going to speak this because that's a responsibility that you are taking on. Okay. And I speak that because when just like everybody in this class, I'm responsible for maintaining myself because you all come to me and ask me to teach you. So I am responsible. That gives me a responsibility to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Because if you take on a responsibility of teaching, that is a responsibility and not to be taken lightly. Because if you're going to teach others, you better make sure that you're doing you.
Well, I just noticed that he started texting me.
And there's nothing else needed, right?
Yeah.
Are you giving me something?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm not I wasn't trying to teach him anything, because he.
Okay,
was just
but
observed
what did you
outside.
say?
I talked to another
Are you
girl.
speaking truth?
Yes, I am, because I wasn't, he was one that was farther back.
Did
away,
you
just
give a
watching.
book to someone?
To someone else, not him.
Isn't that teaching?
I guess I was sharing.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean. I
You're taking on the responsibility, which means you need to make sure. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, am I? Did I say
No,
it was
no,
wrong?
no.
No, I never said it was wrong. What I said was make sure that with that responsibility, you do the right thing. Because it is important. I don't take it lightly that you guys come here and listen to what I have to say. I don't take that lightly. I make sure that I am doing me. So whatever I speak is truth, period, all the way. And that if you need help with something, I have the knowledge enough to do it, to be able to speak to it and help you with it. I work on myself every single day. I don't take this lightly. This is important because I'm going to tell you, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine. And they're good ways. And they will change so that you are free. And if the world, everybody in the world, just imagine this for a moment, if everybody in the world were at peace inside their self. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah.
That would be a beautiful world that we live in. And so I don't take the teaching lightly. I'm very serious about it. Matter of fact, I left Sri Lanka because I didn't have good internet in order to teach my class. I was in Sri Lanka getting up at 4:00 in the morning to teach a class because it was 7:00 here when it was 4:00 there. But that was the time that everybody could come. So that's what I did. I take it very serious because it is serious. This is your life. This is our world. And if we can make those changes inside ourselves, the world will change one at a time. That's us doing us. We cannot change the world by pointing the finger at someone else. We have to change the world by doing it inside ourselves. And 100% of the time, when you do it inside of yourself, people will see it, which is what happens with you. People see it.
Now, you did say that before I came back to America, but honestly, in my mind, I doubted that, and
Everybody
like you said,
doubts.
You could see it. And
Everybody doubts what I say.
but I
That's
did.
not unusual.
I-
Everybody doubts it.
But I didn't think I was that much different.
But
where
I don't
people
speak.
would see it outside.
I don't speak, and it's not true. If I have a doubt in my mind, I don't speak. I only speak truth. And I knew when Roger came back, there's a couple things that I said to him. I said, I've got to teach you as much as I can in this short amount of time. And what I'm giving you, if you use it, you will be unshakable. No one will be able to take your peace away. Because first of all, no one can. But if you know that inside of yourself, that's when your power kicks in, because you already know no matter what they say, it doesn't make any difference. Right? Nothing anybody says or does can affect you unless you allow it to. And you allow it by having a thought that enters your mind, and then you marinate that thought and you take it down a road that creates suffering inside of you. And we want to blame it on whoever it was. But it's not that. Whatever happened, it wasn't that. What it was the thought you had about it. Be clear on it.
Dependent origination.
Yes. Be clear on it, because that's what it is.
And that has worked for me. I'm not gonna lie, because since I've been back in America, which I didn't think it was gonna be, it's not it can be frustrating at times because I love Thailand. I love the people in Thailand. And I didn't think I would be able to say that because Kim would say, oh, loving kindness this, loving kindness that, this is beautiful, that is beautiful. And I told her, I said, I don't know why you keep saying it. It gets on my nerves. But because I did, and it did. Because I was in suffering. But now that I'm back in America, I see the suffering all around me. And loving kindness and things. I get up in the morning and every day it's beautiful. And I wouldn't have said that 3 months ago. And it is. I look at the sun, I look at, Bubba's beautiful, and Daniel's beautiful. Everybody is beautiful when I would not have said that before. I would have thought of some reason to be an asshole to them. But your heart, my heart, one heart.
Yeah, it's all one. And if we know that, we can and live in that, live in it so much so that nothing can pull you out of it. It's really an amazing, amazing thing. And all it is being loving and kind. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy that it's that easy, but I promise you it is. And if you speak truth to yourself, that's the key. That's your key that's going to unlock that first door of the road to enlightenment. That is it. There's no other way. You can't, there's no, I've tried them, many, many, many ways I've tried. Oh, I had many teachers, and they all taught me something, but this was the one that just was like, oh, that's true.
Pure clarity.
Yes. And if you do it, and it's not, like I say, it's easy, but it's not easy because you have to take a check on yourself. You have to say, is that a truth I'm speaking to myself? All the time. Like when you start to feel bad.
Or angry.
Yeah. In anything, there's a
Emotions.
gamut of emotions. But when you start to feel them, you need to stop yourself and go, okay, what was the thought that created this? And do I need to have it? Let me look at truth. What's the truth? That word doesn't do it because just going, okay, I'm going to speak the truth isn't speaking truth. You have to actually go, okay, I was thinking to myself, I suck because I gained 5 pounds. Okay. Is that a truth? Is the truth that I suck? No, the truth is not. You don't suck. So what? You gained 5 pounds. Okay. Today, right now, let me make an effort to take that off.
Effort.
Yes. You have to just speak. And it doesn't mean you suck. It just means there was 5 pounds that needed to go somewhere. And you got it, right? I mean, so what? When you get straight inside yourself, your body will start to get straight too. I'm not kidding you.
I can attest to that.
Yes. Roger went to Thailand in a wheelchair. He came back, he could walk 8 miles. He had 2 surgeries on his knee. Now he can walk without a cane.
When? Just recently?
No,
Like before?
years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so
I just couldn't function.
But here's what happened, okay? He started cleaning his heart out, okay? He started speaking truth. How do you do that? You speak truth. He started speaking truth to himself. Little by little, junk was going out. And his body started to heal right away because junk was getting released. You carry anger, you're going to be sick. Something in you is going to happen because you can't hold that and not have some kind of sickness. And any kind of emotion like that. Any emotion will bring in suffering. Now people are going, well, we shouldn't have any emotion.
I said that,
I know emotions.
I said
Yeah.
that when I was in Thailand, because I
Uh-huh.
got mad.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I supposed to not feel anything? But it's got nothing to do with feeling, because we're humans, we're going to have emotions. But
What you do with it.
yes, looking at those emotions, because I would hear Kim in my head, and now Bubba told me the other day, he said, I was getting an emotion, and I started to get upset about something, and he said, I heard Kim in my head. I said, well, I would hear her in my head too, so, and it was not a bad thing, it's just, you ask yourself, and I would have an argument with truth, because I would tell myself, yes, this is true. But then that little thing deep down inside would be going, no, it's not. You know, and I would have to sit back and take my ego separate and go, what is truth?
Yeah.
The truth.
And you have to really find it for yourself. Like, you know, I can sit here and go, is that true? Are you speaking truth? And then, you know, you'll say yes. And then I'll say, oh, probably not. You look at it again, you know, but really it happens when you have that conversation inside your own self, with yourself. You know, I sparked it with Roger because I wanted him, he'd never had that conversation with himself before. So
I would tell myself it was my truth.
yes, that's what he would say. It's my truth. And I'm like, and that's not true. You know, so you have to really have the conversation. And this is so beautiful because it gives you all the power. You have it in you. You have all the power. No one is going to do it for you. No one can do it for you. But you have all the power to do it yourself. And it's such a beautiful thing. And it comes in at loving kindness. You know, that's where you get your power. That's the power that comes. You speak the truth and then loving kindness comes in. And that is loving kindness has the power to change the world. And this is truth. It can change the stones. I'm telling you, because Roger was a stone.
Yes, I was, and I have loving kindness for myself.
Yes.
And that's where it started for me, because
that's how it works. If you can remember to just do it for yourself, inside yourself, it's a beautiful thing that happens. I'm looking right now for my yes. Because we're going to do a little meditation. So I've got my dinger. Last week I didn't have my dinger. So what we're going to do, have you ever meditated before, John? Okay. So I'm going to guide you through this. And you just sit, relax. Try to just focus on your breath. Like focus on it coming in. And I'm going to speak it to you. And then focus on it going out. Focus on it coming in and going out. And watch it as it comes in. You know, oxygen is healing your body. Your body cannot heal unless you have oxygen. So this is oxygen coming in and healing you. And as you're breathing out the carbon dioxide, the garbage that you had inside of you. You can let it go. So, and the trees will absorb that and love it and thank us for it. So, it's very short. I don't do a long one because most people don't like to do long meditations when they're first starting out. I love it. I do a long one all the time, but when we first start out, it's hard for people to sit in quiet for very long. So I do that. Then I'll do y'all like the Pateau? When I do Pateau, do you like that?
Oh, the other thing.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm still.
You don't like it?
Oh, either way is fine. I kind of tuned it out after a while.
Okay.
I'm still learning. As I'm reading, where it's in that big book, like you told me, the words would be described to me.
Yes.
You know, I'm learning metta, Sangha, some
Yes.
of these other things.
Sati. Sati means mindfulness. Mindfulness means knowing what you're thinking and being aware of what you're thinking, and then determining whether you need to keep it or let it go. And you can let it go. It's okay to let a thought go. You don't have to hold on to it. Just because you have a thought, first of all, don't criticize yourself for having a thought, because you have thoughts, 60,000 thoughts a day or more. So what? Secondly, when you have that thought, know that you have the power to either keep it or let it go. And so if you want to let it go, then just picture it floating right by. I don't need that thought. Let me bring in something else. Let me bring in truth. Let me, whatever you want to call it. So that's your PowerPoint. You have the power to do whatever you want to in your own mind. Okay. All right. So here we go. Just sit up, take a deep breath in and let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. And one more time, deep breath in and let it out. And as you just sit here in this quiet space, allow yourself to just breathe in. You're breathing in breath of life. Let it heal your body. Picture it going through your body and healing whatever needs to be healed. Letting it out. Picture letting go of anything that's bothering you, anything that's causing you pain. Let it go as you breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. Allowing yourself just to be in this peaceful space. When your thoughts come, just breathe. Focus on your breath. If you don't want to think about it, just let it go. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Letting yourself feel the breath come in through your body, through your nose and your mouth, going into your lungs. Healing your lungs, breathing out, letting everything go. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Now I'll speak the Pato, which is I am awake. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Take another deep breath in and let it out. And one more time, deep breath in and let it out. Now I'm going to spread loving kindness to the world. Metta Jeto Imutiya Karuna Jeto Imutiya Mudita Jeto Imutiya Ubeka Jeto Imutiya. Okay. How's everybody doing?
I feel cooler.
I like that dinging because I can feel it. When you ding it, I feel like it goes inside of me.
Yeah, it's